we're going to talk about something that is just so nuts to me that...
What did you guys see this? What is gross? What's happening in the
Today
world?
we're going to talk about something that is just so
Howdy,
nuts
how you
to
doing,
me
Tram?
that anyone would do, let alone
going meta,
a big,
boys.
huge company that can easily be fact-checked.
Baldy.
Like, you're just out here lying in a way that is damaging, like, to a lot of people, and is just dishonest for what? But then from there, I also wanted to talk about some similar lies that are occurring in the games industry that I feel like I am seeing gamers fall for, that I just wanted to take the time to demystify a little. Basically, big companies keep lying about the tech they're using and what it can do, which is like unsurprising because that's a big company's gonna big company for the...
Why would they? I don't get it why they lie though. Like they just look dumb in the end, right? I've noticed a lot like honestly, I thought it would be illegal. I thought like lying within advertisements was illegal. You should lie about your products. I thought that would be a thing that you could get sued off and you would be fined off. I don't understand why tech companies and even the gaming is lying that much.
First topic, film.
Misleading, no? Oh, there's a thin line. Oh, I see what you're saying, Beard. There's a thin line to play around with. Oh, okay.
Greta Gerwig's Barbie, very accomplished, claims to have filmed a bunch of scenes without CGI. They even presented a sort of making of
investors, right? Yeah, the AI is the new word that everybody loves to talk about and put their money in. Because most people that talk about AI don't even know what AI is. They say AI while they're talking about machine learning. They say AI whenever they're talking about in like tools that are meant to enhance production. They're not talking about AI. They're talking about something completely different. So it is like one of the buzzwords, you're right, that are super popular that everyone put their mind and money in nowadays.
Claim to show how certain things in the film were done with no CGI. This Yahoo News article,
it's like a categorizing a lot of things.
Very easily proven to be untrue. Hi, yes, hello. By now you probably know that Barbie is the biggest movie of 2023. I don't know how else you read something that starts like that. While moving between Barbie land and the real world, I can't keep that up, I'm going to die on the inside. Barbie and Ken travel through a bunch of different scenes using a car, boat, spaceship, bicycle, camper van, and snowmobile before rollerblading in Venice Beach. And this section of the movie did look really cool. I love that it has like the toy box aesthetic.
I like it. It looks cool, yeah.
The movie nailed. It looks rad. So yeah, they just keep doing these like different versions of Barbie sets where they're dressed in appropriate Barbie attire, Barbieing through the land to get from Barbie Land to Venice Beach.
I've not watched this movie, by the way.
Pinnacle of the world. Nobody likes it there. Well, it's a fun transition montage every single time it happens. What makes it even better is how it was filmed. Namely, it was all done practically on set using some old school movie magic. They've got little images here showing how they were held up by strings. Instead of having the actors film these moments on a green or blue screen and have the elements CGI'd in later, Barbie elected to build sets and backdrops, which helped give the two-dimensional feeling that is seen in the finished scenes. This is a lie. Now, again, I'm going to show it to you.
Why would they do that?
Lie about this? Obviously, because CGI is lazy, cheap man's way to make film. Ugh, we turn our noses up at CGI. Disgusting. Hang on, I need to move my camera back over so you can't see my...
I think it would... I don't know. I feel like there's no reason to do that at all. I think that is a very stupid thing to lie about. I think it's maybe something you can get the old granny to be hyped about and excited to go look at. Though, overall, it's not really... What are you going to think about that? Who gives a shit?
Cyberpunk background. I mean, no, that's all real. It's all definitely real. Now, there are certainly things that I do not like about overuse of CGI. I prefer a lot of things being done practically, things being done in a way that's painted. I'm certainly...
Because it looks natural. I mean, the thing is that the natural eye, you want to often... I think that's why they liked... A lot of people liked Oppenheimer. I've not watched Oppenheimer, but I heard a lot of people liked Oppenheimer because they tried to do a lot of explosions themselves. They did like mini explosions and then overdid it instead of using CGI. I think that the thing is that you can... CGI is still a tool or craft that you can make something into reality in your movie. But at the same time, nothing is going to be better than the real product.
One of the people that is kind of getting sick of the volume. So much of Star Wars started to look the same. It looked
Hi, Gemini. How you doing, buddy?
The volume, which a lot of you will have seen. It's very, very, very cool tech. You can't use it everywhere.
Is that Elon?
Certainly downsides to overuse of CGI. George Lucas. Do you know what I mean? But also a reality of CGI, and most people who talk about there being no CGI, is actually that it takes a lot of people.
I'm doing good, Gemini.
Right.
How are you doing?
There are so many people in so many visual effects departments who work incredibly hard on making CGI backgrounds work that erasing them just sucks. Like, it's just, not only are you lying to customers to, I don't know, again, pretend that you don't have CG, but you're also diminishing the hard work of people who like put so much effort into this. Like, it is a technical challenge, okay? And this is basically one of those industries that's very similar to game development, in my opinion, is when you do CGI really, really well, nobody notices.
And the thing is that it's insane. They open Nuke and they make layer after layer after layer after layer on top of the movie. There are it's so much work in CGI, and belittling their work is kind of insane. Like, I don't know, I think about this. A lot of people don't think about it, but it's insane how much work it takes. Because if they do one small error, everybody will notice that error. So they need to perfect and make everything being perfectly aligned and look smooth within all of the transitionings. Because else, if they don't, it will be clear for everyone. Everybody call it the super CGI. Have you looked at, what's about the Superman movie? The Superman movie where they faked his mustache. That thing has belittling and ruined the whole fucking every CGI act within that movie, because they just like fucked up a little bit on his mustache. They probably just fucked up 2 layers and made it look that, and so they look kind of unrealistic. I don't know. Like, I think it's sad. I do think it's a little bit sad that you don't, if they actually are using mainly CGI and they're like, wait, we didn't use CGI, we had props, we had somebody cut some cardboard and paint it, and now it looks like this, while there are really talented CGI artists spending hundreds of hours to make this perfect.
Only notice when it's bad. This also totally happens in game dev. It's really difficult to tell when somebody has done something well, because the point is that
legalize nuclear bombs,
which is clearly what's happening with a lot of
gang.
these movies that are claiming no CGI. And I guess the thing is, we're currently at a point where CGI often is so good that for all the times you can say you hate CGI, you don't want CGI in movies, so much of it is just already so good that most people don't even notice it. Half the movies that are praised for not having CGI, like Top Gun Maverick, get points on the reviews because they didn't use CGI, but actually they did. It's just a blend of practical and CGI. For the record, I learned about all of this through a YouTube channel that's called The Movie Rabbit Hole. Credit to them for literally all of this. I'm going to leave a link in the description to their series that is no CGI, it's just invisible CGI. I highly recommend you watch their videos. Way, way, way more detailed than any of the context I will be giving here, but it is really interesting stuff. Let me show you a little bit about Top Gun Maverick.
It turns out a lot of the aircraft they filmed practically were not the aircraft you see in the final film. Instead, they filmed these L-39 stand-in jets, painted them gray, and added tracking markers so they could be used for lighting reference and tracked. The good old F-14, it's all CGI. The enemy's 5th generation fighters, they don't exist. They're all CGI, which means that in the entire dogfight at the end of the movie, you're watching 100% CGI airplanes, because none of these planes exist.
So this is certainly a thing that keeps happening. Now, to jump to Barbie specifically, this is the thing that I think is like exceptionally gross, okay?
This scene was filmed on blue screen. There is a blue screen here, and you can see they've badly removed it and inserted the desert background to.
And then, again, you can spot the blue screen keying, and he's right.
You can see the lines.
You can see it in Ken's hair, you can see it in the backgrounds, and then they claim in their own making of that none of this exists. There are photos of blue screens being used on this set.
I wonder why they want to lie about this. Does this really increase their profit that much?
Warner Brothers has done a complete blue screen removal on 45 minutes of bonus material.
It's nuts. And the thing about this that I think I find the wildest is that if you look in the Barbie credits, you can see lists of people's names in the VFX department. Like, why are we pretending that those people just don't exist? So this is a thing that they'll also do in behind the scenes photos. If you see behind the scenes photos of actors on sets with blue screens, they will usually edit them to be gray so that it looks like
I think it's for industry clout.
You can even see the color on her hair here.
I think it's kind of sad because, I mean, I guess if you jump into this work, people know when you call bullshit, right? But it is kind of sad because this is a pretty big movie, right? And the people working in the VFX team, they will put this on a portfolio. And if these guys are saying like, look, we didn't use any VFX, blah, 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 kind of belittles their portfolio in the end of the day, right? their LinkedIn profile. It's kind of like ruins it a little bit, but I guess it doesn't matter since the people working within this industry, maybe the ones that are hiring, I don't know, maybe they don't know enough, but I would assume most people would call upon the bullshit and realize that they're using a lot of VFX there. And this is blue screen.
Clearly not gray. There is color seeping through from a blue background. That is a blue reflection coming off of hair. You can't really hide the reflection of a blue screen in a lot of cases. There you go. Perfect example. This is all
looks
photoshopped. You can
photoshopped.
see the blue around here, but for some reason they can't let the people know. No CGI really just means no bad CGI at this point. And what that means, in my opinion, is that the people who are doing this work deserve even more credit. Like, they've made something that's so good that you can't tell that it's there, that the companies who are marketing these movies are comfortable saying there's no CGI, because the people who are doing this type of VFX work are so talented at this point. Doesn't that mean they should get more credit, not less credit? Is that such a crazy stance? Basically, you're effectively being lied to, and most of these things are CGI, even if CGI as a phrase doesn't really apply. It's more just VFX. It's a lie, it's marketing, and it's so nuts that we are dismissing all of the hard work of all of these people. Now, as this pertains to video games, what's happening right now to video games is actually almost the opposite. Obviously, we know that video games are not real. I know.
No way.
Information I'm presenting you with today.
No
the current
way.
Of AI is heading in an opposite direction with the same intent
we're
that
getting
the
into
no
this,
CGI marketing is in the film industry. You remember NFTs? You remember when everybody was trying to put those in video games? You mean that I can ruin the thing I love by making it entirely monetized? It was actually so funny to me to watch all of these companies be like, gamers will love this. It will improve video games. Because it just tells you these CEOs have like no concept.
I love that they were always saying this will improve video games. This will improve the industry. But they never told you why it would improve it. They never gave a factual reason that made sense that would make it better. They said you would get a receipt, so you own the product. Okay. Okay. Why does this matter? I can screenshot it and I have it. And then I can put it in my backup file and then I have it. If it's, this is a different thing with the physical material, because then you have it like literally in your hand. But these things are completely different. They never gave a reasoning for it, so it was just funny that they keep rambling. They were just yapping all day. Yap, yap, yap.
Why gamers actually like to play video games,
it's not real. The world is ruined, man. I gotta play that Nero game.
Something vaguely similar to me. He's like, why aren't you getting in on NFT games?
Unless you do enough drugs.
If
you do enough, you might see her for real.
Yeah, but there's so much money, Alana. You should know. How are you not doing it? Yeah, it's because gamers don't actually find that appealing at all. Just CEOs do. And it's just really funny to watch people not understand the concept of fun. But gamers don't want to have to play something as a second job or a marketplace. So they really tried and realized that it wouldn't work. And so now the push from all of these startups, which in many cases are the same people who had failed NFT gaming companies, is for AI. Gamers don't seem to mind AI as much. You may have seen Asmongold went sort of viral for saying this recently.
If it was made with AI, I'm completely okay with that because it was fun. Artists'
That's
opinions don't matter. It just doesn't matter, because what matters is the opinion of the people that are buying the product.
So if you don't know, Asmongold is a big Blizzard.
You know, I wish people would actually think that way. You know, like I'm not thinking about AI, but I'm thinking about we just watched a video about like media when it comes to like streaming services and games being now published. They clearly don't give a fuck about what the consumers thinks. So let's not put the narrative like that. Like, let's be real. They don't give a shit. All they care about is what is going to give them more profit. Because they don't care if the consumer has a bad time or dislike what they're doing. It doesn't matter in any sort of regard. So I don't want to put this kind of mindset onto the AI itself when they ignore it for everything else.
Yeah, I think, and people are very upset with him for saying this, like almost canceled him for saying this. Even though he is ultimately
only Asmongold to have 4,000 camera and makes it look like a 30 webcam. It's impressive, isn't it? I mean, he's also like a multi-millionaire that looks like he's homeless in his own home. It is impressive. He's the most realist content creator there ever is.
The opinion of the artist
does not matter.
The market will dictate whatever it wants to do, regardless of the opinion of the artists, is the reality. When it comes to sales and Palworld being successful, people are still going to play it if it is fun. They're not going to care that artists don't like it. I actually think that, like, as my stance on AI, I think you have to make up your own
It's a
decision.
crack
Pick and
home.
choose what you want. It's going to get messy out here, where generative AI is concerned. There are certain things that I personally will not play. You have to make your own choice. For me, I don't want to play something that has art that was AI generated, that has writing that was completely AI generated, or that has music that was completely AI generated. That is my stance.
Soulless.
Maybe I won't even be able to hold off on that for very
Not
long.
worth
Hopefully
wasting
we
my
can.
time
But
on.
my attitude personally is like, what is the point in even existing? Like, literally, what's the point in being human if not to at least experience cultural community
and express
you know?
yourself?
That's how I feel about it. You have to make your own choice about what you do and don't want to play.
Exactly.
But within this framework, there is so much misinformation that is coming from these same shitty NFT bros who are trying to sell you on how amazing games can be if they just use AI because they're trying to make you accept it, even though in a lot of cases, games already use AI. Every single video game already uses AI. I don't know how we've forgotten that. The word AI is being thrown around as some net negative, even though video games have been using AI for a very, very, very long time. B, there are a lot of things that companies are trying to sell to you that video game developers can already actually do. This, like, it's so obvious to me that they're just trying to sneak in AI to get a quick buck from any company they can while it's still hot because the NFTs didn't work. Like, it's the same fucking people. Genuinely, look it up. Literally the same names of founders of these companies. It's so...
I mean, they're just businessmen. They're trying to jump in to get rich on an easy market. It is that easy. They're just trying to get some moolah, man. Respect the hustle, even though it's not really anything nuts. I mean, they're just seeing that there's an opportunity and to try to go for it.
Oh, nuts. This is an article from The Verge about NVIDIA's new AI NPCs. I'm a huge fan of NVIDIA. I have their graphics cards. Them pushing AI tech is hugely beneficial to them as a company. Same as NFTs were, actually. NVIDIA makes so much hardware and there's so much tech that is dependent on their exact kind of hardware. But there's this particular part of this article that people were calling out on Game Dev Twitter.
I want to say one thing. NVIDIA's, I've not tested it out yet. I need to try it out. NVIDIA's card improving the texture work of old games. Whenever that was presented, that AI work was impressive. And I have a 40 series graphics card. I really need to test it out to see if it actually works that well, because that defined a game that looked like it was from 2005 to looking like it's from 2015, and that's a pretty big step.
That I think is really interesting. The article talks about them trying the NVIDIA AI and that it wasn't actually very good at this point in time, but goes on to say, I can now absolutely imagine games where NPCs remember what they've seen and react to the game's scripts as it unfolds.
That would be cool.
Bits could enter their memory bank at the right time, get filtered through their personality and desires, and
that
make
would
a
be
game
very
more immersive and interactive as a result. We can already do this in video games. This is already available in development tools. This does not need some new AI tech. In fact, that's the case for half of the things that people are claiming AI will be able to do. Or
Ali, are you a bald old man too? No, I'm sorry. I have a lot of hair and I'm not old.
With Grand Theft Auto,
I'm not 30 like him. I'm not 30 yet.
Technology that will allow for more immersive reactions. Say, you know how in previous GTAs, if it rains, they might pull up a newspaper to cover their head, or maybe if they have an umbrella, they'll use it. They're trying to combine that body language with the weather effect, with maybe that particular
30s. Yeah, don't worry about it. It is what it is. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think 30 is old even. I've said this many times. I don't think 30 is old. And a lot of people make 30 to big deal in the downfall. Your body might respond a little bit, but you hit 30 and you're gonna realize the next day nothing has changed. It's the same.
This does not require any new AI tech. This is not some recent breakthrough. This is something that literal game dev tools can already facilitate. It's being spoken about as though it's some new thing. This is just how game development is able to function and has always been able to function, as long as people have the room and the ideas to iterate. But that's not some new AI is going to replace everybody in video games thing. That is still somebody coming up with those systems. This stuff does not require generative AI, which is the thing that I am talking about personally being against, which thankfully Verge did mention here, is we can already, as game developers, use these things to augment games. That's half of what game dev is making sure that when this person reaches this place and this thing happens, that they remember this thing also happened. It can still be very complicated, and AI can still make mistakes with that kind of stuff as well. But it's not some new thing. But yes, we don't want any of it replacing voice actors, writers, or artists. Again, you're gonna have to decide what your personal stance is. Do whatever you want with that. But it's just so bizarre to watch these things basically be repackaged as some shiny new tech that's gonna make video games better for players when it's stuff that already exists. Like, this is just nonsense. It's not even generative AI. It's basically just another silly little bubble. Don't let them fool you. Do I think some of these companies will succeed? Yes. Do I think that what Asmongold said is correct? That the opinions of the artist ultimately don't matter? Yes. And it was almost surprising to see him get that much backlash for it. It's like,
I mean, like, if we're thinking about, like, it's right. It's true. The unfortunate thing is the truth. Like, there's a lot of things that are true that people don't want to hear. And that's one of the things that are true. Like, in the end of the day, consumers don't think about these things. Majority of consumers don't sit on Twitter and read these things. Majority of consumers just consume. If they like it, they like it. If they don't like it, they don't buy it anymore. That's it.
It sucks. Like, they should, but financially they don't matter. The industry will go wherever the money is, regardless of what anyone thinks about it, which is why I say, make up your own mind. What kind of AI you are or are not against. No part of it is hypocritical to be okay with some things and not okay with other things because they are in such vastly different categories.
Exactly.
Basically, I just like the tech industry to stop lying about shit. That's my take.
I think there's a lot of rules that need to be set in this world. I feel like most rule sets set in business, media industry, and generally internet, I think there needs to be new regulations. Once millennials get into office a little bit more and more people with an understanding of the internet and understanding of how business has been working, that have kind of been growing up with it for many, many years, I hope that they start adding some rules into this, because I feel like falsely advertising and playing around the thin line is too much. I don't think it's fine to generate AI, like use your machine learning to train on resources made by individual artists that you have no collection of. I think that should be legal, but I don't think you should not be allowed to use some machine learning. Very simple. But mainly, this video was mostly about what the like producers and companies just generally lying to you. I think just overall, I feel like that should be a very big gray zone that people get fined for if they fuck around with too much. But yeah, we have a lower computer literacy than a few years ago. We have, Jesus. I'm literally on my computer probably using rare metals on Earth mined by children in Congo. Oh yeah, there's like, let's be real, most of the thing in the world is inhumane as fuck. There's so much crazy shit. Yeah, to hear the brutal truth, the younger people also don't care about those topics in general. That's the thing, like most people don't care about it. That's why they just consume it. They don't care about it. But like in the end of the day, is it right? Just because people don't care about it, should it be like that? I don't know. I guess the world will decide with time. I think that people that care and people that have knowledge around the whole surface should hopefully will one day be able to make laws to protect the consumers about this. Because the thing people don't realize is that consumers that are unknowledgeable are usually the most vulnerable ones. And at the end of the day, it might not be a big deal, but should it be a thing? Probably not. And I think that I just hope that one day there will be a lot new like rule set that will prevent these kind of scamish and like bad things going around. But we'll see. EU is so far ahead for consumer protection online. EU is very ahead when it comes to consumer protection. They know the dangers of consumption and lies and manipulations companies can do. Because in the end of the day, companies, all they think about is the profit margin. All they want to do, they don't give a shit who you are behind the screen or who you are generally. As long as they get $3 or a couple mullahs, that is what they care about. Listen, the CEO, that company need a new yacht and they want to go and enjoy themselves with a fresh fucking wine bottle that costs $50,000 and enjoy yourself. They don't give a shit if you're losing on it. They don't care about it at all. But thankfully, EU is at least have a lot of regulations, and it's a shame to see that America and I guess the whole of US is, I guess just US itself, it is such a massive goddamn country, and it is so big, so revolutionizing in so many regards, but yet they stick around with these old laws and never changing it or adding anything new to evolve further, because fucking hell, There's so many great and smart individuals there, but every time I see anything related to the leadership in US, it's a clown fiesta. I don't get it. I've never heard anyone say anything positive about their, like, the majority of the presidents or people in their Congress there, or anyone making any laws or anything going on. It's insane. Anyways, we're going kind of a little bit different topic, but let's hope that the other places than Europe actually start learning and start to put like more consumer protection on things, because these companies will fuck you up as much as they can. Hi, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like the video and subscribe. I'll post videos nearly every day, so if you want to watch any more reactions, feel free to subscribe and I'll see you there.